Empowering local communities to prevent violence against women and children in West Nile project is a 2-year and 6-month action implemented by Advance Africa and partners in community transformation in partnership with Uganda Prison Service with funding from the European Union. The project focuses on empowering women and children in Koboko and Arua districts to live peaceful and dignified lives as they enjoy the economic, social, and cultural rights. The project objectives include female ex-inmates have access to improved and impactful rehabilitation and reintegration services. Community structures actively engage in changing attitudes, perceptions, and practices regarding respect for women's and children's rights. The action hereby is twofold, as it seeks to support 1. Vulnerable women in and after prison, as well as 2. Vulnerable women in the community at large. Advance Africa is a not-for-profit organization that gives priority to innovative approaches of creating opportunities for sustainable sources of livelihood in order to reduce vulnerability and contribute to social justice in Uganda.
I'm Sharon Atkunda, the Chief Executive Officer with Advance Africa, and I'm happy to share with you the progressive partnership we've had with Uganda Prison Service since 2013. As we talk about the rehabilitation and reintegration of female ex-inmates and their children, it's important for us to know that in Uganda, the social status and gender roles of women are different from those of men. It is also expected that the reasons for women for the crimes committed to be different as those of men. In most cases, women are perceived as victims rather than perpetrators. And according to Uganda prison statistics, the percentage of women female inmates is 4% of the entire prison's population. Why are these women in prison? For which crimes have they committed? According to the studies we've conducted as Advance Africa, most of these crimes are connected to poverty and reaction to the social discrimination against women and violence against women in their homes, the experiences of violence in their homes. This confirms studies that have been conducted by Foundation of Human Rights Initiative and Penal Reform International, which reveal that majority of the offense committed by women is murder, coming out as one single biggest offense. These crimes committed are also called crimes of passion, such as murder, harming or causing harm to household members, family, or loved ones. Studies again reveal that several of these cases of manslaughter by the female offenders seem to be an act of self-defense against their in-laws, their husbands, maybe because of rape, sexual abuse, and property rights, such as access to land. So you realize that the physical and sexual abuse are significant contributors to the crimes committed by women. But also the high levels of vulnerability. Women have weak structures. Most of these women that are in prisons that have committed crime have less access to opportunities like education. Most of them are illiterate. They lack enough family support and care. So because of these factors, these women end up being vulnerable. But what efforts has Uganda Prison Service done, and how do CSOs, NGOs like Advance Africa come into play to work to complement the mandate of Uganda Prison Service? When we look at the rehabilitation programs, also gone an effort to identify the child care facilities as a key support mechanism that provide a conducive environment for their well-being and social development. In this effort, Advance Africa, under our interventions in the rehabilitation and reintegration of prison inmates, with support from Caritas Switzerland, we have constructed 2 daycare centers at Gulu Women Prison and Arua Women Prison. These daycare services, with additional support from the European Union, have been fully furnished with furniture, with equipment for children, items like beddings, mattresses, and other educational playing and learning materials. The objective of this daycare service is that they do not only create a space, a conducive space for children, but these daycare services provide the opportunity for children to learn, for children to have a very child-friendly environment.
Advance Africa for the past 4 years has had 2 interventions carried out in West Nile. Advance Africa's progressive partnership with Uganda Prison Services has grown since 2013, and help has so far been extended to about 1,200 prison inmates in the rehabilitation centers, especially the female and ex-inmates.
Time to know Advance Africa was the time when I was in Gulu main prison, and Advance Africa was helping inmates a lot. It gave band with drums, it gave a piano, and really inmates were enjoying themselves. The fact that they are in prison but they need to have their own livelihood, and it really kept on with them though they were in prison, which was really good. Now here I am as officer in charge of Arua Women Prison. Advance Africa has now handed over the daycare center and nursery to Uganda Prison Service. The daycare has a population of 28 children.
Constructed for us this structure that you are seeing, which is behind me here. I personally am very proud of it, because formerly our children were staying with their mothers in the woods, which was not okay. But ever since we got a facility, we do bring them here, and we prepare for them food, meals. Then when it reaches 4 o'clock, we take them back every day.
My name is Lenny Ndori. I'm a senior superintendent of prisons. I'm the OC Arua Main Prison, and at the same time I'm the district prisons commander. In here I overlook over around the 6 prisons. That is Arua, Women, Girigiri, Koboko, Robule, Yumbe, and Bidibidi. I thank you for having come to check on us, more especially when we are taking over this precious facility, as I may call it, the daycare for our children. And we want to thank you so much for really coming. Advance Africa is one of the NGOs working with us in this region, particularly Arua Main and Koboko. They have done a lot. More especially helping us as Uganda Prison Service fulfill our mandate of corrections, our mandate of reintegration, our mandate of rehabilitation.
It's for female prisoners, but the environment there is not so conducive for the growth of the babies to grow normal as normal children, be able to play around, jump around, live, be able to explore the surroundings, because they are also in the fence. We don't give that environment is not good for them to explore, to be children. So Advance Africa came in and built for us a daycare center. First of all, they started in one in Gulu, women prison, and after that one was completed and in use, then they embarked on another one in Arua prison, where, yes, it was just launched recently. The other one was in 2017, I think. So the children are benefiting a lot. But not only the prisoners' children, but also our staff children. It's we work together. We are together in it. So the staff children go in there together with the prisoners' children, and they are able to live a normal life, to be children, to be babies, and with a lot of playing toys, these playing swings, whatever you call them. So they have provided all that.
And a good interface and very great partnership with Advance Africa. And they have done a lot of activities with us. And as our partners, they have also mobilized resources. Specifically, I want to talk about their contribution relating to the welfare of children, the babies that come to prison with their mothers. We have had 2 daycare centers constructed with resources from Advance Africa. These daycare centers serve to give the children an environment where they can play during the day, they learn, they develop better. They are taken care of the way we would like to be taken care of when our children are in the community, notwithstanding any other challenges that the inmates may be facing. This is the time when the mothers are able to engage in other rehabilitation programs. So the contribution by Advance Africa is greatly felt when we see the women able to get rehabilitated as the children are also growing normally. So it's a great achievement in Northwestern region, that is in Arua, and in the northern region in Gulu. These daycare centers, I can say, are of such quality to the prison staff as well, because as we engage our inmates' children, we also bring the children of staff.
Rehabilitation is a part of the mandate of Uganda Prison Services, offering programs that are educational and vocational skills to the inmates as a way of preparing them when they get back to the community to be more productive after being equipped with a number of skills. Communities have appreciated and seen Uganda Prison Services as a correctional service to inmates. Advance Africa is pleased to be part of Uganda prisons in the whole process and encourage other structures of government to know that they have an equal role in this integration process, as well as other community leaders. Advance Africa would like to appreciate efforts made by the Uganda Prison Service and for the financial support rendered to them by Caritas Switzerland and the European Union.